voice sounds real sexy right now.
It's about the love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. Yeah, it's about the love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. You can't make a change unless you got the love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. You can't make a change unless you got some love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. We started from the bottom, talking about the roots. Every time I'm in the booth, I gotta shoot the truth. My art is my art. It ain't no shame from it.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Boondocks Podcast. You're listening to Season 2, Episode 3. Thank you for not snitching. HBO synopsis. A rash of home invasions has Woodcrest in a panic. When Riley witnesses the theft of Granddad's precious car, Dorothy, will he crack under questioning? Welcome. That was my NPR. NPR, if you're listening, we're here.
That was your NPR? I was going to say, that reminded me of something else. I thought you were about to follow up with, so what can I do for you?
I got the NPR just because I actually used to listen to way too many podcasts. So immediately I was like, don't laugh.
I like that. I like that, though. I like that. You
Yes. Gotta switch it up on y'all. Y'all snitches.
Hi, ladies.
Hola.
Hello, governor.
Happy birthdays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got to, do the happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, and if I can say so, another birthday was Cedric Yarborough.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
That is correct.
Our own Tom.
That's right. I just found out who are a bunch of Aries. Lady Gaga. Not that I'm was too excited about it. She's okay.
I appreciate
She's the
her.
same birthday as you.
Oh yeah.
Did she? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I always
she's
knew
24.
Perez Hilton did. I did not know. Us Aries, kind of have we have little attitudes towards other Aries. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
An attitude.
Fucking
What?
fucktard Aries. Oh man. Just the dumbest fucks on this side of the planet. Sorry, y'all. It is what it is.
I think men are, people go, ooh,
Yep.
Aries, ooh. I think men are probably worse than women. Women, we're just we're passionate. We say what we mean. I know I'm a dreamer. A little bit of a procrastinator, hence why I waited last 2 hours to do 3 weeks of homework last night. But yeah.
But we're cuspers. So we got that Pisces touch. But listen, a good Aries is awesome, and a shitty Aries, so a good Aries is courageous, good leader, loyal friend. They stand up for the underdog. Man, a shitty Aries is egotistical, selfish, thinks they know everything, talks over people. Just think of the person you hate most in the world, like an Uncle Ruckus kind of character. That's probably a shitty Aries. Fuck them hoes.
I'm aware of my tendency to maybe talk because I'm so excited and passionate about topics with people that I can tend to speak over. And so I've definitely tried to be much more aware of that. Podcasting has pointed that out to me.
No. And don't think I'm throwing daggers. You're a conversationalist, and there is a difference. I mean,
yeah.
I've known some Aries who will what did you say? I'm sorry. I thought Tiara started to the shit like that. No, dude, I'm good. Yeah. Y'all doing the most.
Every parent teacher conference was the same. She's great. She just talks a lot. And, she gets frustrated when the other kids don't know. Cause I'm that one that have my hands up if they don't know, I know,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so sounds familiar. Yeah. Sounds like our youngest son. I don't know where he gets that from. That's crazy.
No, not at all.
Crazy. But yes. So these are our signs,
Yeah.
I'm Tiffany. I'm an Aries. I like long weeks. What is it? Long walks on the beach and sweet, didn't know it's R&B songs.
Oh yeah.
From the 60s used to say that.
Lowered expectations.
What was that? Mad TV or something like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Oh,
Oh
fuck.
God, so good. So good.
And I remember a lot of those, like those 80s dating videos that would like sneak on when the internet first started and people would start putting that shit on. It was the funniest shit that I had ever seen. And I don't like cringe comedy. Like, I feel bad when other people are experiencing something that would make me cringe, basically. And that's what all of those are, but they're just so completely, overwhelmingly clueless that I lose my empathy.
Yes. So you didn't enjoy the like American Idol auditions?
No.
You didn't?
No.
She banged.
Yeah. I still get uncomfortable about that shit. But I don't begrudge any, like, people. A lot of people choose to put themselves into situations like that, and that is their choice, and they have the right to it. I cannot watch it, and it's not even because I'm judging somebody about it. It's literally that I don't like the feeling that it produces within inside me, so therefore I'm just going to avoid it if I can.
Yeah. Well, so you think you can dance is a little different. These people, I'm like, there is no way in hell you thought that was like, come on. Those are pretty funny. But after about a season or two, it got pretty old on American Idol, But man, they had some good ones while they did.
Yeah, I kind of half paid attention to the first season of that. I remember, like, I don't know, actually for a minute thinking, oh, maybe I'll try out for that. And then I think it was like when it got near the end and it was obvious they were trying to kind of push the
Kelly,
the Kelly and what was the dude's name again? Justin.
Guarini.
Yeah, when they were trying to like push those two into some kind of like, it totally yes, I know the movie, but that wasn't even it.
Yeah,
like on the show
totally
itself.
They did a whole Twilight thing, like you guys are gonna pretend like you're dating type thing, and the whole time he was like really shacking up with Paula, or was trying to shack up with Paula or something.
Yeah.
I do remember that though. I remember crying for her because I was like, that feeling had to be amazing, and I remember her song, "A Moment Like This."
I still like her. Like the reality cooking stuff that she's doing, I don't even know what exactly she's doing now, but I don't watch it. But her music, I used to really dig her music, especially when I worked at bars, and it was perfect, like, in between karaoke song,
Yeah,
So
since you've gone is still
yes, I know. The Diet Dr. Pepper commercials was
Lil Sweet.
Lil Sweet, that's right. That's just Justin Guarini.
I'm with you there, though. I do like Since You've Been Gone. It reminds me of the hills in Laguna Beach a lot. It reminds me, just that song was fire. But I she reminds me of Rachel Ray. Like they're trying to turn her into a
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I know she's not cutting me a check, so I don't. Right. She don't even know what the hell I am, but.
Well, yeah. So one thing we didn't really do last week, we didn't really kind of talk about current events because it was honestly a much needed quiet news week, so to speak.
Yeah.
This week's not so much. Not so much. There was, let's see, very early in the week, we had, what ended up happening was guidelines that were trying to be, what was it? The NRA pushed back against a recent gun law in Georgia. And so it basically got cut, which allowed somebody to walk into a store, buy a machine gun, and then walk into a grocery store and shoot people waiting to get vaccines. And that it was right after we had somebody go in to a 3-spa shooting spree of Asian women in the same general area almost. And I feel like we have to talk about that a little bit at least because
Well, it's I have friends that live there, so right away I contacted her this morning, and she's like, just a sad day here. They're all fine, which so happy and thankful for. Yeah. You guys know that I've become an enthusiast and practicing our Second Amendment rights, and it seems that because we have a Democratic, House, and usually Democrats are against, and they're for more staunch gun control. It seems like ever since the Democrats took, charge of the House, shit's just been happening that has to do with guns. And it makes me wonder, like, what is the message that the universe is trying to send? Because I believe in our rights to be able to have them. Now, who's getting them and how they're being used? Of course, that's the problem. It's never been a gun that's been on trial for killing somebody. It's it's the person, it's people behind it.
I think that it goes both ways, though. I understand enjoying being a responsible gun owner, but I personally do not believe there is any reason for someone who is not in the military to have a high capacity magazine. I do not see like a point and shoot with a big magazine. Sure, cool. But when you're looking at the power of an AR-15 or something along that lines, that's military grade. And if we think that it's wrong for the police to be using military grade weapons against our people, why would it then be okay to take it away from them, but it's still okay for everybody else? Like, I don't believe that anybody should have anything of that kind of power unless you are like trained in it, like hardcore. You have to carry something that says, I know how to use it, and I am not at a chance, or not, what's the word?
Risk.
I'm not a high risk at, exactly. Yeah. Like, I think those are basic things that need to happen. There's no reason to have a 100 bullet clip or, any like things that you can shoot hundreds of times in seconds does not need to be in regular society. The people who are making the laws need to realize that they need to either like fully approach this from this is your accountability, and if you do something with your gun, something is going to happen. Like, they have to go to it from that, or everybody, like, it's either gun control or it's gun consequences. But right now we have neither. So, Lindsay, I know you were waiting.
Riding the fence. To make everybody happy. So, and it's sad because we're losing people, those people were at the grocery store just minding their own business and picking up some Cheetos or whatever. And, and had their lives completely turned upside down.
Lindsay, I know you were trying to say something a minute ago.
Yeah, there's like two big things I want to touch on here. The first one is that, one, we're talking about this in terms of people aren't thinking clearly about the people making laws. I don't really think any of that is the root issue. I think, and we're going to get into this during this episode, I believe. Mm-hmm. I believe in America, and this is no disrespect to white men or white people, but like, there is this thing in America where, as a white man, it is your right to do whatever the fuck you want to do. Mm-hmm. That is the real root issue. That is why the shit continues in the manner in which it continues. You're not going to tell me I can't have an AK-47. Gerard down the street, you tell him whatever the fuck you want. No, that nigger shouldn't have a gun. I agree. But you're not going to tell fucking, a white man what he can and cannot do. And that just is what it is when it comes to gun laws. That's why you see the red tape in Congress. That's why you see nothing changing over the years. That's it. I know a lot of people say I'm cynical, but I just feel I'm in a place in my life where I am very conscious of just everything going on. And I know a lot of other people actually are as well. Y'all just don't be saying this shit in public. You be saying it in private rooms of Clubhouse. But the second big thing that I want us to touch on and not get too caught up, get too far away from it, is that I do want to just come out and say on this podcast, just noticing on LinkedIn, in my social circles, on Twitter, that I do feel for the Asian community. Mm-hmm. And I know there's some race relation stuff going back and forth as well, but I do want to just say here on this podcast, we definitely stand with you.
Absolutely.
If you are listening to this and you have anyone you're close to in your circle who is an Asian person, reach out to them and check in, because it's through talking with other friends who are Asian that I actually took the action to start just reaching out to all of my really close girlfriends and family members and saying like, hey, are you all right now? And the response has actually been, no, I'm not. you know? So definitely take that time and support, you know, other minorities going through this right now, because as Black women, we get it.
Absolutely.
We've been there.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate when, Sandra Bland?
Yes.
When that happened, and there was a couple other females, that same kind of situation within a couple of months, I definitely felt under attack. I already felt like the United States told Black women, especially, what they felt about them. Not only women, but Black women, especially when, you know, Trump got in office. So it was a scary time, and it was an uncertain time about where I fit in, and was I protected, and was I okay? So I can only imagine, especially when, like in the Bay Area, people are just running up to people and socking them in the face, you know, like elderly, you know, Asians. And
it's happened here too.
It's amazing to me, because it's like, you guys, at the end of the day, I know hubby loves when that saying, but at the end of the day, we're all people of color. You know what I'm saying? Even though we honestly are the ones who are the majority, not the minority, as if, you know, the numbers say, we are the majority. If we did like POC versus white, struggle. We've all just faced a certain struggle that's had to do with our beliefs and our race and our religion or whatnot, that we've all had to overcome in American history. So we should definitely feel, you know, just some empathy for those individuals right now, because I feel like it's just out of the blue, number one. And I know it's been leading up to it, but it's like, what is wrong with these people?
It is definitely ramping up. Like it's been kind of coming on for a while, ever since COVID. But it's especially in the last couple of months that it's really just like, we're seeing it more, not because it's necessarily even happening more, but because the news is acknowledging that it's happening now. And so it's getting a wider audience. But yeah, I like the woman that I work with, my instructional assistant at work. Schools are being forced back in Seattle, and whether we're ready or not. And I don't get my second dose of my vaccine for another week. And I won't be cleared by my doctor for 2 weeks after that, which puts me squarely in spring break before I can walk into my classroom. That means that my assistant, who is an Asian woman, is alone pretty much all day. Like, she's leaving her house for the first time since all of this happened, since the pandemic really happened. Wow. And she's having to go out to an uncertain, unstable environment where I am literally having to buy an air purifier because my school district said that my rotten portable was new enough that it didn't need to be upgraded. And, you know, like, there's so much not caring about people going on right now. And, you know, that's not just because of Trump. It's not, you know, it's been just growing for a really long time. This, like, I don't know.
He's gone, and it's like you're still doing damage. And I am terrified.
The years leading up to
get his own social media platform. That is going to be, I mean,
him and the My Pillow guy, right?
Yes, I know him and the coked up My Pillow guy. It's you know, and I wonder if he just sits back, you know, with his nuggets and, you know, and whatever unhealthy food that he eats, and just goes, I did this. Like, if he's just pleased with himself, you know, if this is making him feel better because, you know, he pouted for so long. If this is, you know, giving him validation. And if so, it's very sad.
I don't think he ever pouted, because I still don't think that he, I mean, not that he doesn't believe. He believes it. He knows he is not president. But he knows that there's people out there that still believe that he is. And that is what is keeping him going. He is not upset yet, because he hasn't lost several million fucking followers who are on Parler all the time going, Mr. Trump, join Parler. And he's like, no, I'm going to start my own thing, and you guys are all going to come to me. And they will. They fucking will. All right. So thank you for not snitching. This episode is something. Like, right from the beginning, I fucking love that it's that Ed and Jen Remy are back, and because them doing these crimes that are about to be blamed on everybody else. It's so fucking, of course, it's exactly like what we were saying. And without going all the way to the end of the show, like, it's really fucking like, okay, these two boys are going to get away with everything, aren't they? Like, you just know it right from the beginning.
I mean, whenever they're on the show, it's a a narrative about some broader issue, but it's like they get away with it, and it's so like a Brady Bunch episode. It's like at the end they're just like, well, that's what happened, and that's what happened. All right, here, and they just go on about their business, which we know is real life. So, yeah, it's they're still funny as hell, though.
Oh yeah,
Still
their conversations,
hilarious.
Especially when it's which one had the Bluetooth? Ed had so Ed's talking to some girl on the Bluetooth, and Jen's like, "You fucking talking to me? What are you like?"
Ooh, that booty looks good.
I love it when you bend over. Shit. Or like our opening clip, your voice sounds real sexy right now. I remember when those things were first out, and it really did seem like people were just talking to themselves as they walked down the street. And like, it brought back so many memories of those oversized, like,
oh God, I talk about people who have Bluetooth. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, they lasted 2 hours because the battery sucked on them. You could barely hear. You would lose connection with your phone. Like, it definitely was more of a hazard driving and walking than anything else. But people that talk on them so loud to this day, I'm like, what are you doing? Right? What? Yeah.
What? No, I'm on the phone. Well, we're not on the phone with you, so can you shut the fuck up?
Oh my God.
Like, I used to ride the bus to commute all the time. I got so used to just the noise of people talking to no one. It fucking sucked so much.
I can't stand when people are on freaking speakerphone. Like, I can't.
Why do you do that in
it.
public?
I don't care. And I'm the type that I go, I'm looking over at them. I'm doing all this and that. And they just seem like they just talk louder. I don't get it. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares what you have for lunch. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. The fact that, okay, so the next scene is when they all kind of the whole neighborhood is being questioned by the cops because there was another break-in. And like, I don't know about you guys. As a Black person in a very white city, I've never really felt completely comfortable with the cops. It wasn't until after, like you mentioned Sandra Bland earlier, it wasn't until after Sandra Bland that I genuinely feared for my life around police. But, and then there was another one here in Seattle, actually, that affected families that I used to work with. Charlena Lyles, I believe her name was. God, I hate if I got that wrong, I'm going to have to look it up. And yeah, so I have had to deal with the police only a few times in my life, always as a quote unquote victim of a crime, or a witness. I was a witness to a hit and run twice. And every time, it didn't matter if I was the victim or if I was the witness relaying information. It was, what's the word? It always felt like the scene in this episode later when Granddad is being questioned and the guy is like trying to trip him up. Like, it's always felt like that. Even if I was saying, yeah, I was standing on the side of the street smoking a cigarette, the car ran the red light and hit the other car, and that's all I saw. Oh, so you were standing outside smoking a cigarette? You know what movie that's from, right?
Like, what fucking year was it? It was like, yeah, I'm 23 years old. I'm outside of a bar having a cigarette and I saw a car hit another fucking car. We're not going to like, that wasn't a recent one, but.
Well, trivia. Do you know what scene that movie is from? What movie that scene's from? Okay.
We
What
did.
about you, Lindsay? Oh, I like that from the crown on me, babe. That's cute. Lindsay, do you know the scene where he's being interrogated by the cop? Do you know what movie that's from?
No.
Menace.
Yes.
To Society. Yep.
Yes.
And I love that they got the same actor, right? Bill Duke. So they got the same actor to play the cop too.
Up, right?
So,
you know,
right?
Up, right? We said, he goes, no, that's what I mean. 7. I love like that scene. First of all, that movie, Black Excellence. Black
I got to watch that one again. I have
it.
not seen it in so long.
So good. Yeah. Best soundtrack too. Oof.
Soundtrack. I remember that.
Yes. But yeah, that scene, I can relate to what you're saying because growing up in Elk Grove, it was always there. The cops are to protect and serve. And the first time that I had, and because prior to that being the times that I've gotten pulled over, I was able to kind of flirt my way out, pull my shirt down a little bit. There were definitely times coming home from the club that I was, speeding and I was not sober, but they let me go, because I would say, oh, I'm trying to get home to my, my babysitter and my son. But we were in Davis. It was the first summer hubby and I were together. We were in Davis and this cop pulled us over on a bullshit excuse and then proceeded to question us what we were doing in Davis. And we're like, we go to school. And it's like, you go to school here? And just to see how we were being stereotyped. And this one here, if you don't stop these freaking, I'm going to hurt you. This one here, this is...
Those of you playing along at home, hubby number 1 is over there putting Trump's face on MJ for her birthday.
He's having so much fun on my birthday. It's so much fun here.
It's so cute every time it changes.
I'm like, I like the crown, but I'm like, freaking, now I'm an orange Cheeto, a talking Cheeto.
Now you got a mustache.
Yeah, I like that one. Actually did kind of like that one. But this is when I knew he needed to be a lawyer because he knew what he could say. I mean, he cussed that cop all the way up and down, talked about him probably being like a teased in high school and barely probably passed. And that's why he joined the force. And I mean, talked this man up and down. And my dad was on the phone. I was like, Dad, I'm so worried. My dad goes, let him talk. And that was such an eye-opening experience to me that immediately changed my image and how I interacted with any police officer. I mean, my boys call them the hot boys and that's the popo. Like that's how they refer to them. And we don't have any reason for them to, be afraid or to refer to them in a derogatory way, but it's what they've grown up with. It's the stories and the examples and people, dying at the hands of police officers. So to them, it's negative, and I can't do anything to convince them that they're here to protect and serve because they're not.
Well, they literally didn't they go to the Supreme Court and basically the Supreme Court was like, no, they're not there to protect anybody. They're there to protect property. They're there to serve the community. That has nothing to do with individual life, liberty, or justice in any way.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's killing me.
So actually, that's a really good, words segue into that first clip that we had.
Voice sounds real sick.
Nope,
wrong one.
Nope.
Good thing I can edit.
Yep.
Where I live, snitching is more like a recreational hobby. They even have a club for snitches. It's called the Neighborhood Watch.
Okay, the Neighborhood Watch. My only experience with Neighborhood Watch is not a positive. I don't know about you guys. How about you guys?
I'm from the hood, so
right?
We didn't do that shit.
They tried.
Yeah.
My very white neighborhood has. Well, no, actually not my particular neighborhood, but nearby neighborhoods have had neighborhood watches, which cracks me up because if I cross a certain street, I might see somebody with binoculars out their fucking window. It's fucking gross.
Jesus Christ.
The neighborhood watch was just always signs that were in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
But you always had the couple of neighbors that I didn't tell you I was going on vacation. So why are you checking to, for what's going on across the street at my house so much? Why are you so worried about that I have 7 cars here because they're coming over to watch a fight? Like, you definitely had those, unofficial, unappointed, freaking monitors. But that goes with, we didn't have the privilege term then that now I realize, what that is. It's needed in some neighborhoods if it's going to be used right. I know. You see what
it was Fabio a second ago.
Oh my God. See, I was not looking on the screen. I'm going to send him away. Okay. So
I'm enjoying it. I need laughter. I've been crying for 4 days. Laughter is fucking great right now.
He's making my birthday fun.
Yes, absolutely.
So I just wonder where it actually works. Where is there a neighborhood watch that everybody is for the same goal? They're on the same page. They're not judging anybody. They're not, oh, here comes the black family, so let's make sure we watch even closer. I'm just saying, where is it where it's actually done right? I don't know. Maybe Iowa, maybe like somewhere in Nebraska. I don't know. Black neighborhoods, we don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-mm.
That's not what we do. What we do is we have the grandmother that knows everything, or I'm going to kill you. We have the, the lady like 227 who sits on the stoop and, knows everybody's name. And I love Barbie, knows everybody's name and everybody's business. So, she tells you everything. I'm going to throw my beer at you. You stop. So in my neighborhood, we talked to who we talked to. And other than that, we didn't talk to you. And what we did in our house was none of your business. So babe, stop. Is this why you wanted me to go on camera so that you could do this? Oh my gosh. So special.
What is that, half Joker, half Bruce
Big
Willis?
Trouble in Little
Big
China.
Trouble.
Sorry about that. I was like, I don't know. Leatherface and John Wick. I didn't know. I was just going to say somebody. But so I wanted to, one thing that was very apparent to me in the first few minutes of this episode was, my question was, why do you guys think that it's so innate within Black people, within our culture, that we don't snitch? You hear that from your parents. I tell my boys all the time, don't be a snitch. Don't tattletale on your brother. Don't do this, don't do that. And it just kind of manifests itself in everything. And I'm going to say probably certain times when we should be telling because it's more communal, but we don't. So I was just wondering, the question that came to mind for me is, where do you guys think that stems from?
When did snitches get stitches start? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, people still say it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But when did that start? Was that in the 90s?
Probably in the 90s. Yeah, mid 90s, late. Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what really he was referencing. With the Don't Snitch campaign and stuff. I don't remember specifics from stuff like that, but
I just wonder if it was... I'm sorry, go ahead, Lindsay.
Well, it's just rooted in the general overall fact that Black people are treated unfairly by law enforcement in this country, as we all know, and the history of the police department. And so, there's a crime sort of if you are snitching on a Black person to the police, it's almost like you are throwing another Black person to the slaughter. So we all just stay in our lane and mind our business. But listen, y'all fuck with my family or you fuck with me, I'm a snitch.
Yeah.
If it's something, I draw a line on people being killed, children being harmed, people's house being shot up and things like that. No, I'm not going to do your job for you. police department. I'm not about to, just lay it all out for you. But I think that there's a fine line, and that's where other cultures or other races could then come in and point the finger as to why we're a detriment to our own communities because we don't tell on our own. I was thinking even further back than that, because I do think that a lot of what we do as a community now and as a culture has to do with slavery. So I was kind of thinking even further than that. Like, you wouldn't tell the plantation owner, you wouldn't tell the master, where such and such. And if you did, then you were considered like a house slave, like a house nigga or whatnot. So,
well, and I mean,
I'm wondering if
that's where
it's rooted in that as well.
That's where modern policing came from. Was the guys who were hired to go and catch the runaway slaves. So, like, from the very beginning, cops versus black people has been, like, I don't even know what we would call that, like, arch enemies. That's not the fucking right word, but you know what I mean.
Well, there's a struggle for superiority, and there's a struggle for authority. Whereas we can't have, respect for you and respect your authority when you kill people that are running away, when you shoot them in the back, or, there's there's so much behind, why there is a disconnect between, us and the law. And people want to make it seem like it's because we just don't want to obey the law, and that's not it at all. Actually, we want to be protected.
What you just said, can I play a clip real quick? Because it's exactly what you were basically just saying.
If they're so innocent, why won't they talk to the police?
What did he say? Yeah, why
Doesn't sound like innocent behavior to me.
Why wouldn't they want to talk to the police?
I love talking to the police.
Like, the difference between black culture that's like, no, I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna fuck with that. That's not gonna happen. To the white people who are like, there must be something wrong if they don't talk to the police. Only guilty people don't want to talk to the police. And I think that right there is kind of white privilege just in itself. Like, that is what white privilege is. These white people are like, but I love to talk to the police. They're here to help me. Whereas black people are like, that cop ain't going to do shit for me. That cop's probably going to get me killed.
Yes. Yeah. 1000%. That's exactly what I feel like. I mean, it's even addressed in this episode. You help, and then they say they're going to protect you, and then they don't.
And then when you get shot in front of them, they will then put you in jail for not
or just let you lay there and pass away, and not,
definitely more likely that. Yeah.
This is where I get angry with people that don't understand defunding the police. It's not about, taking away their authority. It's streamlining. It's having checks and balances. It's making sure that the chief of the department isn't a freaking racist and, head of the freaking Ku Klux Klan for his area. It's making sure that if you grew up in Elk Grove, for example, very, back in the day, a very farmer-esque town, but then you can't go and work in South Sac, which is all black and all Mexican and all Asian. Like, you need to be able to work in that environment for like a year or so and kind of do what they used to do old school, like there's the cop that was on the beat, and that cop knew your grandparents and grandparents' names and knew all this. Just
that's because cops lived in the same fucking neighborhoods that they patrolled. Whereas now,
now they don't. Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. They absolutely don't. I don't know if y'all remember, but there are a bunch of cops in Seattle PD that were caught at the DC rallies, right? Rally, I use in quotes. Yeah, these guys have had the gall to sue people to prevent their names being released to the public so that they can continue to make their $100,000 a year or whatever and live in Mercer Island, which is not actually in the city of Seattle. And like I just...
But yet, at the drop of a hat, you release Jamal's name. I forgot what we were watching recently, but it made a very good point. Whenever they talk about a like one of the guys that had the bad day, whenever they talk about him, they show his picture, when he played baseball, they show his picture of him and his family on vacation. They show him fishing, but then when, for example, Jamal does it and Jamal happens to maybe have a mugshot, because he had he was in the drunk tank. That's what they show.
Or holding a gun in like a Facebook profile as if that somehow makes them a bad person. Oh, hello, dog.
Yeah.
Hi.
No. Yeah. It's very scary, yet and irresponsible of the media, because they continue to, they continue that narrative, and then they try to act like they're oblivious to it, and they have nothing to do with it. They don't know where those ideologies come from.
That's actually in one of the few things that because again, I'm not really watching the news that much anymore, but it was on John Oliver, and I watched John Oliver religiously because I fucking love that human. But he totally called out. So after the shootings, is it Meghan McCain posted on her social media that she was like against violence against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, and he basically found a clip from her from last year saying, well, I don't think it matters if people call it the China virus. I don't think that's going to hurt anything. And in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. It's like, oh yeah. Okay. Say that now.
That is. Oh yeah. When somebody says something about her dad or, about POWs, then she wants to just go all off.
Her dad was a better
in other ways, she shows her true colors.
Person.
Like she definitely shows her privilege. For sure. Yeah. That's why I say once again, Vice News, love it, because Vice News really, the way that they report and the fact that they allow their journalists to be, to have their own voice and to really tell a story. I love about them. I'm addicted to Vice News.
Yeah.
Addicted.
So the next part that happens in the show, I think it's really funny. And I know Lindsay had a clip that she wanted to play from it. So Huey talks about basically what we just talked about by why Black people don't snitch, but that rappers will absolutely tell on themselves. And so this clip is Gangstalicious.
Gangstalicious, my mind's too vicious. Eat MCs all day, delicious. My whole crew up in this, no doubt we gon' win this. Smack up your moms like I smacked Johnny Guinness. 3 o'clock yesterday, I don't care what they say. Suckers really shouldn't play, I hit them with the Hennessy.
Like that entire rap was what he did the day before. And but both Dean and Lindsay were like, hey, that reminds me of a of a story that someone told us, MJ. About the guy who stole millions. The guy who stole millions from unemployment.
Oh yeah, the EDD guy, and then wrote the song. Yeah. Still, the song slaps to this day, but you dumbass. It still goes, but it's so funny that you say that, because another rapper just got put in federal custody. Today, he's a pretty big rapper. I mean, to me, he's not, he's one of these young ones, NBA young boy, and there's like 19 NBA
what
letter acronyms and shit that. But anyways,
NBA,
yeah, that's his name. NBA young boy. Yeah.
Is everybody like a Twitter handle now?
It legit.
Like you said, that's not even the only NBA something. Like, fuck that. What the hell? Like, that's what I was just going to say that. Like, there's 500 lil somethings.
Yeah. Never broke again. Yeah. I mean, you just can't. Oh, good Lord. Don't get me started. Like, y'all are just so. What it says now is how bad you guys want to belong to something that they create these, little cliques and these names based off of it. And then when they fall out, then they're like, I got to take the YBA, NBA, and blah, blah, blah off my name because I'm not cool with them anymore. But anyways, this young man, if you want to call him that, I think he's the one that has like 6, 7 kids. Yeah, by different women. And he's told on himself, like he's another one that just all his raps, all his music is about crimes that now they're like, okay, you gave it to me.
Oh my
like
God.
You just gave it to me in a nice little bow.
That's crazy.
It is. I'm so happy that my son's like, that Deuce likes 90s music and that Jax likes kind of like pop and EDM, because this rap is trash and these guys are not creative at all. We had It Ain't No Fun, if the homies can have none, but I would much rather have that than some of this shit that these kids talk about today. I mean, because they're talking about taking lives and they're so serious about it. But that's exactly what they do. The rappers, once again, the wisdom of the youngest, person on the show.
No, girl, that was your story. It just tripped us up because it was like, we always talk about how prophetic the show is. And it's like, hey, didn't we just do this story?
Right? Yeah. It's so funny to me though, that Mos Def is the voice.
Yep.
So funny to me, but it's, this is why they have the hip hop, binder or whatever that they have, like the New York Police Department, and they say other major cities. Example, Las Vegas, Miami. If you're a big rapper, let's say you are Lil Wayne, if you're not doing a residency, they don't make it easy for you to get a room.
Really?
The clubs. Oh yeah. The clubs will not like help to give you VIP. And so because they feel like if they come there, they're going to be bringing their entourage and it's going to be bringing a lot of problems. That's why there's no hip hop clubs in Vegas anymore. Everything is EDM or, spin, Pauly D spinning it and mixing it with something else. There's no pure hip hop clubs there. And it's because they're trying to mold the audience that they have there. So, but all these major cities have a dossier of all the rappers. I'm being all serious, and he puts freaking Will Smith up. Like Will Smith is not in anybody's hip hop binder at all.
Oh, that poor man.
Oh yeah, right.
He's got a lot of money. He's got beautiful kids.
A lot.
Seriously,
man.
No.
Aubrey.
No, I can't.
Aubrey. Yes.
No, I can't.
I love
Drake.
Now this
Drake
one.
grooms little kids. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
No. Are
yes.
you on that? Oh my gosh. Are you on that? He dates little girls?
No, I'm on that he grooms them. That is a very different thing. And yes, he has admitted to it. He likes to befriend young girls, and then when they turn 18, he dates them. That's a grooming. That's a pedophiliac.
18. I heard. Yeah, I thought it was like more like 21, 22.
No, Millie Bobby Brown was like 14. The girl from Stranger Things. He's been texting her and like sending her private like pictures and all of these things. And I don't even think she's 18 yet.
No, she's not. I don't know. Drake seemed like really Drake.
Yeah, he pissed me off.
Drake, you can
he
send me
Degrassi.
DMs.
He was a good guy.
Maybe he thought he was actually talking to Bobby Brown.
Well, that's possible.
Right. Look, Bobby Brown's the good one. I still say we all know that it wasn't Bobby. It wasn't Bobby who got them started on that good nose candy. But yeah, but like I was saying, it's just, you guys, they already have their eyes out for you. They're waiting for you to mess up. That's why they're letting so many of these rappers now that should be in jail, no bail, no bond. They're getting out and they're flying, to other parts of the world. And it's like, do you guys understand? Because they're trying to set you up. They're trying to wait until you do one little thing. So then they can go ahead and get you on 10, 15, 20 years. But yet, they're so delusional for, I don't know. I don't know what reason. It makes me sad though. Because it's like we're hell bent on putting another generation through our prison system.
It feels, and I hate to blame like essentially kids who are looking up to these people, but it feels like that is literally what they're trying to do. Like it is literally, let's turn a generation of rap lovers into people who idolize going to prison and, like bringing that whole I'm going to be absolutely honest with you when I say this as someone who is not a big rap lover, but the more white people getting involved in rap, the worse I see children who enjoy that music becoming. And it sounds fucking weird, but Like 3/4
we
of
know
those.
that the reason why rap has blown up so much is because of who spends the money on it. Black kids don't get to go spend $700 to go to Coachella or to go see their, the rap artists. They don't get to go spend $150 to get the new pair of jeans. So we know who the audience is. And that's why the record companies keep making these, or keep recruiting these people, because it's, look at TikTok.
The Eds and the Gin Rummies.
I mean, Pop Smoke, love them, but I'm old enough to understand like the talent that young man had, and like what's so sad about him losing his life so young. But all those little white kids that are dancing to, was Dior and just all his other songs that are just doing the dances. You guys think that shit's cool. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have any. You don't have any.
I keep trying to not
real
laugh.
example. You don't have any real example of it. Whereas the rest of us, we may have had a cousin that was locked up or pulled over by the cops or whatever. I mean, I will say that, and this makes me feel old, but for them to say that like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Eminem, like, they have made themselves, they've grown up into men and they've made themselves businessmen and they've changed from who they were at 20, 30 years old. I don't see this generation, 20, 30, 40 years old being entrepreneurs, having, alcohol brands and clothing lines and investing and,
like
owning Basquiat's and shit like that.
It's
like,
all about the YouTube and the TikTok and getting the views and getting the likes and not about actually like becoming a better human in any way. Whereas a lot of musicians and rappers from like our day, the ones who were getting popular in the 80s and 90s, they realized along the way that they were going to have to at some point live probably without making, more money unless they magically, have a hit that will keep giving them returns forever.
So just, Snoop, look at Snoop. He's in Corona commercials.
Well, Snoop is actually a really great example because people who just know him as the dude who's friends with Martha Stewart and does commercials and shit, they don't realize that this guy was about to go to prison for murder. Yeah. And that was no joke. Like he was really going to go to prison
for shizzle.
Yep.
Yeah. I love to hear like white people say for shizzle. I'm like, oh, but that's their,
and they hated Snoop back in the day.
Oh, hated him. Oh God, murder was the case, and like I said, the chronic and ain't
gin
no
and
fun
juice
and all that. Gin and juice, and But right now, people are loving him, and buying more Coronas because of him.
Nope,
he's having a ball. He's just having a ball over here.
It's adorable.
He's having a ball.
I really am trying not to laugh, but every time it changes, it just cracks me up.
It's fine. People are going to be like, what are they talking about? So if I could just tell you it's 9:13 and my 23-year-old just texted me happy birthday.
Aww.
Oh, it is 9:13. My birthday is almost over. And this little Negro, no.
Okay, Granddad.
Right? Yeah.
Take a nap, drink a Red Bull.
He likes when I call him that, though. He likes when I call him that. He's like, yeah, I am black. I'm like, plus everything else, son.
There's a few Will Smiths that keep popping up here.
Yeah, they're liking Will Smith on this app, whatever this is. They like them some Will Smith. Just don't make me do what was his dance?
But there's more than one face. Man, I'm okay.
Getting jiggy with it. Yeah, don't make me do it.
Maybe at some point we'll record actual video of some of the bullshit we get up to, but I mean, I'd have to plan that ahead of time because I am not wearing clothes really, so.
Hey, even better. People will be like, what? Right now, this is, I don't know, this is what they were doing.
Only this guy wants to see me naked, so. Gosh.
Seems like I'll go naked too. Yeah, so
I work from home all the time.
Yeah, he's naked almost all the time.
Oh my gosh.
He puts on clothes when he has to answer the door or run to the store, go buy me weed, which is Well, I mean,
I if it wasn't for yoga pants, good Lord, and sweatshirts, because that has been my outfits for the last year and a half. So I did want to ask you guys about, excuse me, when they took the car.
Okay, wait, we're not there. We've got so much more episode to go for that. We're about like halfway through right now. The car is not yet. Okay, so
before I forget,
the neighborhood watch gets together and they talk about the situation. Ruckus stirring crap and like basically trying to say it's the Freemans. They, those new ends over there, and the head of the watch. Now, for me personally, I'm saying there's a little trigger warning before this clip because I desperately despise the word that is used in it, but I think that it's worth it in there for the point that I want to make with it. So go ahead and play that clip.
I say it's time we officially militarized the neighborhood watch.
Whoa, everyone calm down. I promise you, Riley will talk soon. Do you even have a permit for that gun?
Maybe I don't. Come and pry it from my cold, dead hands, faggot boy.
So, 2 points on that one. The first one, how quickly she turns on the good Negro as soon as he's like, whoa, wait a second. Like, she just becomes vicious to him. Whereas before, he was the good guy and he was leading everything. He was trying to mediate, but she, like, the second he was like, why are you doing? Nope. I'm going to cock my gun and make you kind of maybe think that maybe I'm going to shoot you because now I am presenting that to you.
The first thing I thought was, how long ago was this? Because it seems so long ago that actually it was more acceptable. Or that it was acceptable. Nobody really
okay.
thought
You mean the language wise?
The language, yeah.
I wasn't talking about the language in particular. I was talking more about that she turned on him so completely.
Well, yeah. The thing that stuck out to me was just how strong that stood out to me.
Yes.
Like that. As soon as she said it, I was like, ooh.
Right?
Ooh, okay.
It was a full like 360. Like it didn't look anything like what she was presenting herself as to him before that moment. So the second part about that is, so this episode came out on October 22nd, 2007. And in February 2012, Trayvon Martin was shot by an armed neighborhood watchman. And that, like, the first time watching this episode, that was the thing that popped, or not the first time, but the first time rewatching this episode, that was the first thing that popped in my head. I had to immediately stop it and go and check the dates because I was like, I knew it wasn't close, but I wanted to, I don't know if I wanted to reassure myself that this episode had happened before that happened or what, but like it really struck me as, back then that was kind of a, neighborhood watch having guns, that's probably not a good idea, but I mean, it feels like it could be a good idea. And it was debated for a really long time. And I feel like that argument has severely dried up since Trayvon was murdered. But I just really wanted to kind of point that out, that it's not the first time in the episode that that woman is holding a gun. She also has a shotgun and shoots at people with the shotgun. And those two parts together are what really were like, oh, Jesus, fuck, that's just like Trayvon. Shooting at someone you think is doing something they shouldn't be doing without even really knowing who they are or, what they might have been doing. And then essentially shifting the blame onto the family that won't snitch.
Yeah. And the narrative that's so common now that, like Lindsay said, it's because I can, instead of it being a white man at this time, it was an older white woman who felt very, empowered and felt very, I don't want to say privileged, but like she felt like it was within her rights.
Yeah.
To be that out with it. And, so yeah, it was exactly, like you mentioned earlier. And it's funny because this is before the age of Karens.
Yes.
And I mean, she was pretty much
exactly
the beginning of Karens.
Those black people, they won't talk to the police. Well, they're going to join us because I'm going to make them. And she walks over there with all her self-importance and basically demands that this person talk to the police.
Yeah, creating her own narrative.
Yes.
Creating her own narrative, like the lady in the park with her dog. That was too busy trying to, call a lie that she didn't realize that she was strangling her dog. But, you know, yeah.
Real quick, the voice of Betty Von Hausen was done by Marion Ross, who was Mrs. Cunningham.
Oh
on
my
Happy
goodness.
Days.
That's
Shut up.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, how dare you?
I did not read your little notes that you put on. That is awesome.
Mrs. C? Come on, not Mrs. C.
I mean, that's also kind of beautiful because would Mrs. C have turned into a lot of what her generation turned into?
Right. It's
a lot
funny
of white women
because she was Red's mom on that 70s show too. So I feel like in both of those roles, like she very much played, you know, who she was on, you know, on Happy Days. But then you get to that 70s show and she's just like this, you know, just old person. She says what she says, you know, she smokes tons of cigarettes. She drank her scotch. And so, oh my God, but that just mind blown. What? We were talking about Potsy and Ralph Malph earlier today. We were.
So the next scene is the one that you wanted to talk about. That's when Ed and Remy are running away because they're shooting at us. And they see Riley and Dorothy. Mm-hmm. And then they steal Dorothy. Yes. So, do you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, I thought we were playing. I thought you had a clip for it. I was just like, where are we going? I was like, good, you guys picked that one. No, I saw then, what I loved about, well, not loved about that scene, but was that you just kind of saw Riley's, like, I want to say his innocence, but his faith in like their relationship and how cool they were, how that started to crack.
Yes.
You know, how he started to see the real, just like how he starts singing, Thugnificent? What's his name? Thuglicious? Thugnificent? How he sees him for the truth. Like,
what? No, Gangstalicious and Thugnificent.
Gangstalicious. There you go. Put them all together. Same difference. Yeah. But yeah, how he kind of had, you know, his dream or his idea of them just shattered. Mm-hmm. So you start to see it there and you start to see like him question, like, you know how when you have that one friend that's always getting you in trouble? Like you always get in trouble, but that one friend's never in trouble. Yes. So you start to kind of see that thought process. Mm-hmm.
Disillusionment.
Especially, yeah. And it's like I think he realizes by the end, which, you know, don't want to run too far ahead, but by the end that he's like, all right, I need to keep these fools at arm's length. Like they're not.
I think he was like, I think after Dorothy, he's like, gosh damn it. Okay, I can't snitch because they're my boys. If I snitched on them, then, you know, everybody would find out, which is literally what basically happens in the next scene because the cops are trying to get Riley to talk about it. And granddad's trying to like shake it out of the boy. Yeah, but nobody can get him to snitch because he believes so strongly in this snitch code that his granddad had obviously taught him because granddad didn't want to be a snitch until it was granddad's car.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Then he wanted to know it was his shit. So now you tell.
Yeah, which is very much how I remember things like that going when I was a kid. Think, I'm going to be very against this thing and you're going to follow me and be against this thing. And then I'm going to turn on a dime and I expect you to follow with me. Mm-hmm. Woo!
Because I said so.
Yep.
Because I said so. Yeah. Yeah. Our kids are too smart for that now.
There's not really a setup on this next clip here. But
I was just going to say that.
I figured
there is. There is.
You want to set it up?
I was going to ask Lindsay to do that.
Yeah, because it related more so to what we were talking on earlier. And it does relate to what we're talking about now, which is about the selfish reasons why you do not snitch. Like, it's not just like a thing about brotherhood and like, oh, we're all in this together and we're not going to turn on each other. It's because a lot of times when you snitch, what happens in this next clip also happens.
Bernard lived, but when he refused to identify the man who shot him, he was charged with conspiracy and sentenced to a month in jail.
So basically, you are disposable. And this is why it loops back around into what we were talking about earlier. So let's say the cops just say like, hey, we got to put someone away for Mrs. Vanderbilt's home. So you know what, Lindsay? You know what? You're here. We don't have the evidence, but you're here. So you're now going to do a month in jail. What was I going to say about that in relation to this episode? I'm blanking. Oh, what was that documentary that just came out not too long ago about the guy who was at the
exactly
Walgreens?
What I was thinking of.
Yep. Just buying diapers for his sister, I think. And then he goes to prison for like 20-something years just because he was in that Walgreens buying diapers at the same time this corrupt police officer got shot by a bunch of other corrupt police officers. And he does the time. That's why we don't fuck with y'all like that. That's why we don't snitch, because we want no parts of your bullshit.
Well,
facts. Hey, look, reasons right there. That's all you need to know. No, it is very true, because how many times have I would love to know the statistics on when they put people of color in like witness protection. I don't feel like
just a police. Just a local police wouldn't be able to do that anyway. That's literally
I'm saying in a larger,
FBI.
I'm just saying in a larger sense, like how, we're here to take care of you.
What percentage?
They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at how their interrogation process goes.
Yep.
I think perfect example of that is Making a Murderer. And when they interviewed the, Brant, the nephew or whatever, like that was so like that was horrible. And they do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. You actually,
with people of color.
That was something that I wrote down when I was watching, not the Making a Murder specifically, but if in real life, if Riley was taken in by the cops to be questioned and his guardian was also taken in, child services would have to get involved. Like they wouldn't, legally, they wouldn't be able to question him. And yet this guy is, alone basically, or two cops in a room with Riley, in this interrogation scene. Although I do love the way that Riley's just like, no, I'm going to talk about my bike and my spinners. And because he's not going to talk with the cops. So
talk about everything else.
But it's that same kind of thing.
That's.
And I want, real quick, I want to bring up the name of the person you were talking about from the documentary, Sean Ellis. I just want to make sure that we put the name out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the doc is trial 4, because it took 4 fucking trials to get this man off. Ridiculous. Watch it. It's good. Jesus.
Yeah, and funny enough, Ed and Rummy in our next scene, they break into a house. It turns out to be a house that already has a alarm system. They make too much noise. They get shot at again. Granddad shoots Ed, gets him right in the chest, which of course they wear a bulletproof vest because they for show, not for actually getting shot. And we kind of get the reason why they were doing what they were doing. And Grandpa has a question for them.
I don't get it. You guys got elephant dollars. Why you dumbass robbing people?
Cause I'm an American.
Shit, it's the American way, man. Shit. Where the fuck was you raised in a third world country?
See, as I broke it down to Ed, Pops, if people don't have a need, then there won't be no demand. So we out here creating the demand, you know what I'm saying?
Turns out Ed and Rummy were breaking into homes as a way to stimulate sales for once the security service, which was owned by Ed's grandfather.
Because of course. But that's the whole thing about privilege. They're doing this thing and getting away with it, and it's getting blamed on the black family. And it isn't until they're literally in the next scene walking out of the house and Granddad's like, they did it. And everyone's like, no, it can't possibly be them. They're not what Ruckus is like, they're not Negroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I love that.
So just to kind of finish off the episode, after all of the hubbub and there was no charges filed against Ed and Rummy, and so they come back and they steal Riley's bike, and they're just like, "Thanks for not snitching, stupid motherfucker!" I am so glad that at the end of this. You were talking about Riley earlier and his disillusionment. I'm so glad at the end of this where he's like, you ain't my fucking friends. He's so frustrated, but yet he still can't snitch. He still can't do it.
And it's like a lesson learned. Like I said, when you find out that one friend, it's like, all right, they're not worth it. Like when I skipped school in the 7th grade and I'm the only one that got in trouble out of everybody.
Yeah.
But we all got caught, that type of situation. So I will never forget that. You
Oh, yeah. I remember my sister getting blamed for a bomb threat at the high school, and she was the only one blamed, but yet, like, 20 of them had a bomb day party. And it wasn't actually her that made the phone call, to be perfectly honest, but they totally tried to, like, say, oh, we've got your fingerprints on the payphone, because this is back in the payphone days and shit, which was bullshit, but... Yeah, it's just funny that all of her white friends were totally like off the hook, and she was the one that everyone was, oh, it's got to be her. She's a troublemaker.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
You know, white people will leave you out there. No, I'm kidding.
All right, yes, then. I think it's time.
Welcome to Stupid White People Questions.
You mean I'm going to stay this color?
That makes me so happy.
So today's white people, not necessarily, this is actually not a stupid question. And it actually came from a black woman that I found on TikTok. And it's a question about allyship. The question is, do you have any white folks on your list of who could not only come to the cookout, but make and bring the potato salad? Now, and she referred to these people as having the Tina Marie badge. So, if you know,
Tina Marie, my girl, girl.
Who they refer to as the Ivory Queen of Soul. So,
oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So do you have any? I mean, whether it's friends or if you have a celebrity,
do you know white people that you would invite to the picnic? First question.
Right.
Yeah. You got people you'd invite to the picnic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're sitting here. We're like, ooh. I do. I have a female friend and a male friend. Just invite. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but be able to bring the potato salad only 2 people. I've talked about Chris before. I've talked to you guys about him. I said, if the zombie apocalypse happens, he is the the big corn-fed, can fix everything white boy that we would go to, but he also can cook his ass off. He can grill. He's actually he's won first place in the rib cook-off. Like I said, he can do everything. He would be able to, because I believe that he would like look up,
he wouldn't put raisins in there?
No, he wouldn't. He would know that we only do with the potatoes, the pimentos.
How much mustard?
Eggs. Yeah, a little bit of mustard.
Miracle Whip, no, or
Best Foods.
Best Foods. Yes, thank you.
I was
like, I don't know if they have
Whip,
Best Foods or Hellman's or
yeah,
not Miracle Whip, because that shit is gross.
I love Miracle Whip.
Oh no, it's terrible.
The best turkey sandwiches. Oh my god.
The Miracle Whip is salad dressing.
Technically.
Anyway, that's how they label it anyway.
What?
Yeah.
They don't call
it's
it
so
mayonnaise.
funny.
It's not
only white people say that, and it's like, oh, it's supposed to be a thing that white people love. But I only hear white people go, oh God, no, it's salad dressing, and I'm like over here like, make every sandwich that you could possibly can for me with Miracle Whip.
I mean, I've had it. I probably was a small child the last time I had it. So
I can still remember the reaction I had to a sandwich with it. Like I am a very weird person when it comes to food. If we have not talked about it already, I can vividly remember like textures and flavors that I didn't like, so I know to stay away from something. And I vividly remember Miracle Whip, and it's not a good memory.
Well, that's like hubby. He says, is it creamy? Is it white? Is it creamy? He doesn't eat anything that is white or creamy.
All right.
Ice cream?
Vanilla, but because he gets vanilla bean.
Oh, the French vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah, French vanilla. Yeah.
It's off-white.
Off-white, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, but Lindsay, what about you? Do you have anybody that could make the dressing, the potato salad?
I do. I have a sister. She's probably listening to this. She is my cousin's wife, kind of. Like, we all grew up together, whatever, but she was a close family friend. Her name is also Lindsay. And yes, Lindsay, if you're listening, I would be proud if you bought the potato salad.
Aww.
Love her.
What about the dressing?
Yeah, she could. Like, she's a part of our family. She would get the proper guidance, okay?
Okay.
She'd do all right.
She wouldn't be like my best friend who's black and Puerto Rican. and is like, I made a sausage and sage. And I'm like, what? That is not dressing. Dressing is cornbread and cream and mushroom soup and celery. And she's like, no, I mean, with sage and walnuts and sausage. And I'm like, what, girl? What?
And raisin.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm like, you've taken your Puerto Rican and black card taken away expeditiously.
I feel kind of like I'm literally sitting here thinking I have a really great circle of strong white ally friends, but I don't think I will ever eat any potato salad that anyone other than my dad made, and so therefore I will probably never eat potato salad again. So
I will say that Izelle's. I like Izelle's potato salad. That's pretty decent.
I might try it next time. Maybe. I don't know.
So Izelle's a black-owned business, right?
I believe they still are, yeah. Because I think both the husband and wife were black, and so now it's.
But now they've split up.
Because it's Izelle's and Churches. No,
Churches is completely separate.
Church is something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they split up, and one of them.
And the wife got to keep the
recipes.
The restaurant and the name.
Or who?
But the dad opened one. That's why, the man opened one. I don't remember what it was called. That's why I was like,
yeah. I mean, I've never made potato salad myself. I've eaten it a ton of times, but yeah, and the potato salad I always grew up with was yellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this now, Grant, I will tell you that they must use a very light bit of mustard.
It's mustard mixed with mayo.
Right.
Yeah.
And what they put out of Izelle's, but you can taste. You can definitely taste the mustard in it. So
it's a kind of mustard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
French's.
For yellow mustard, yes.
Yes. It has to be that one when you press it. It's like water at first.
Some Dijon mustard.
We could work with that too.
Some Dijon and some cayenne in there.
I don't know. I'm becoming partial to dill, and I feel that would go really well.
Paprika. Yes. Oh, now I want some potato salad.
I'm actually kind of hungry. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh, fuck,
Thanks,
my
guys.
stomach's growling a little bit.
Got some hot links down there. I could whip up some potato salad. Just kidding. It's my birthday.
I made shrimp and steak tonight.
You did, and the shrimp that I was able to eat was delicious, and the garlic bread was delicious, and the steak I'll either eat tomorrow or you will.
Somebody's going to eat it.
I hate my appetite, especially when I'm extremely stressed, like I have been lately. It's a struggle to eat. It's like a very conscious effort of okay, I need something with protein, and I need to drink water, and I need I'm not good at that, especially when I'm overwhelmed by life. So.
Yeah, when I get down like that, because protein's huge for me to have with with MS, I just try to keep nuts around, the granola bars or protein shakes.
Yeah.
Because that's.
Yeah, we don't really have kitchen space for the shakes that I would want to make, so I need to start just ordering them again more.
I like them. They're pretty good. So, but all right, there we go.
Okay. I was never a fan, but
up on our eating habits.
Tried it through Derby.
Yeah. Yes.
So, well, it's beautiful spring day now. Now it's new season of the weather, not the show.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. I am really excited about that.
Yeah.
All right. So unless there's anything else, I know we wanted to definitely plug the Patreon. Hopefully you're already listening to the Patreon version of tonight's show. But if you are listening to our free version out in the world, there is a much longer, more in-depth and fun podcast waiting for you over at patreon.com/boondockspod. And you can check out our TikTok, our Facebook, Twitter, Discord. Yeah, join our Discord. We want to talk to you.
Merch is almost complete.
We could use some more.
Almost complete.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And, cool. and I know I'm sure Lindsay won't get out there, but I gave you guys the TikTok login. So if you guys want to, and whatever clips you guys want me to put out there for you guys to, if you want to do lip syncs to whatever, I'll do it. And any of you who are following us that's on TikTok that want to duet them, let us know, and I'll put clips out there, and we'll do duet things.
And we also kind of ask for your opinion too. Yeah. If you join us on our social medias, especially on Twitter or TikTok, if you have suggestions for things, or when Dean has a question about appropriateness or appropriation, then we ask you guys.
I do have a question for. Because Lindsay already answered, and I know MJ, you've been busy, but maybe you can answer. How do you feel about me? And now again, I would never say lip sync the N word at all.
Nope.
Because
mouth it. Yep.
And I know Ed and Jen Rummy use it, but they are white characters. Granted, they are voiced by black actors. Would that be appropriate?
I don't see why not. You're not doing blackface. You're not. It's a TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like if that was the case, then nobody should be able to be on TikTok doing anything.
Right.
So especially if you are,
if
it's in the bio, or if you're prefacing it like, okay, I'm getting ready to do this or whatever.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was planning on doing an intro TikTok saying, "Hi, I'm Dean. I am the producer."
That's a good way.
And then I'll get pictures of you guys and throw them in there. And
here's
Lindsay.
MJ.
Yeah, and
here's Lindsay.
These are everybody on the show, and come join us, and we'll be putting out more content, et cetera, because I have a lot of fun.
It's such a good, platform for everything. My little one watches, people that draw on there. And it's really good.
Oh yeah. Oh, there was a guy. There's a black artist, because I follow different. Of course, because I have both podcasts on there right now, and so I follow different people on each one. And there's a black artist that I follow on the Boondocks one who he does comic stuff. And during Black History Month, almost every day, he had a different black historical figure in a superhero type of drawing. He had Sojourner Truth, he had Obama, he had Bass Reeves. So many. It was awesome because what he would do is he would so there's a thing called stitching, or stitch or duet. So a stitch means you're going to grab the first 5 seconds of a clip. Of somebody else's, and then you're going to add your part to it. And he would take these people who were being racist, basically, and he would just say, and it would cut to him. He goes, "Shut up!" And then it would clear off his table of all his little toys and things, and throw down his book and open it up. Today we're going to talk about...
I'm going to your profile now. I'm going to follow. Let's see what's going on here. But yeah, and if anybody wants to, usually when I record as well, just let people know I go live. So if you guys are ever, you follow me on Instagram or Twitter or anything, and you guys want to go live while we're on, go ahead and come on. That'll be fun as well.
Hell yeah.
Yes. All righty, guys. I'm going to go continue drinking for my birthday.
All right. You got anything else? Anybody? Bueller?
Happy birthday to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Go have a great rest of your birthday, darling. And everyone out there, we'll see you soon.
Take this the wrong way,
bye.
Bud. I need you to get the hell up out of here.
Hey, thanks for joining us again as we make our way through the trials and tribulations of the Freeman family. We hope to see you back again next time for Stink Meaner Strikes Back.
Or where to subscribe to the podcast, just head right over to www.theboondockspod.com/links.
Have a stupid white people question you want to leave us? Email us at host@theboondockspod.com or leave us a voicemail at 760-933-8636. That's 760-we-3-undo.
Shout out to the artists who've created our intro and outro tunes. Our intro is #MakeAChange by KIRK. You can find them on Spotify, iTunes, and Tidal. Our outro is Good Times by Audio Binger. You can find them on freemusicarchive.org and YouTube.